Yes, everybody, good evening and welcome back to Forever United TV. I'm Adam. These are all your Manchester United updates on the 23rd of August. Manchester United head into that game tomorrow at Craven Cottage versus Fulham in the relegation zone. It's already on, everybody. We're already in that battle. Of course, I'm only joking. One game in. Manchester United could catapult themselves, I think, as far up the table as 5th. If the results go our way tomorrow. And obviously, at the moment, today in particular, there has been some shocks already showing you the strength of the Premier League. We're going to get into Manchester United and Fulham a bit later on in this show. But what I want to talk is the squad that's leaving for Fulham. One person in particular that isn't in that squad, Rasmus Hojlund, is leading the headlines again this afternoon, this evening. JADON Sancho just behind him on the Manchester United Exodus list. A little touch up on what's happening with Senny Lamens as well in the show today. And all of your comments in on this Saturday evening. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Hope you've enjoyed the football today. I'm sure most of you Manchester United fans enjoyed that midday kickoff in particular. And Spurs humbling Manchester City again. I've seen a great quote online earlier on which said, yes, it's great that Manchester City lose today, but Spurs could be a problem. Another team doing well in that fight for top 5, top 6 Europa League places for Manchester United. Champions League, you could say, if you're very optimistic about United's season, but this is going to be a very difficult season and anybody can beat anybody. I think that has been proven right there. You've got championship sides coming up, beating Premier League sides, then getting beaten by former championship sides the week after. It is going to be an up and down ride and consistency is going to be key. And that is only going to come in performance. Can United carry on where they left off against Arsenal, but maybe score a few more goals? I want to talk about that, like I said, in a bit. Dallow's post, does that mean that he's actually playing in this game and all of that jazz? But Rasmus Hojlund is not in that matchday squad. He's not even travelled by the looks of it, which is very, very telling when it comes to what's going on in the transfer window right now, in particular with his potential move to Napoli. Now, as we said this morning, Rasmus Hojlund is negotiating, has made it very, very clear to suitors that he wants a permanent move. Napoli, reported by Fabrizio Romano last night, has said to be interested in Rasmus Hojlund with that obligation on top of the loan, which is going to be the initial loan that comes in to take Rasmus away this season. Then obviously the obligation kicks in at the end of the season and he becomes a permanent fixture at Napoli. Now gone past that, and obviously Rasmus is the one that's driven the permanent deal side of things, and it has been reported today that Rasmus Hojlund now has given the green light to going to Napoli. So if he is happy to move to Napoli, then communication between him and the club has happened. He's give his side of things and what he wants. One side has buckled on what they originally wanted here, i.e. Napoli have said, right, okay, we'll make this an obligation and a permanent deal. Or Rasmus has said, right, I'll do the loan. I cannot see Rasmus buckling on this because he's already got a football club and Manchester United would have to integrate him back in if they didn't make a sale happen. So, and what we're seeing here, I feel, is Rasmus Hojlund has had enough from Napoli and has been convinced enough by the project. And like Romano said last night, the long-term project, he has now come out today, according to Italian sources, and said that the deal is on, it is open. And they're reporting that this should be completed by Monday. So after the game tomorrow. But interestingly enough, in the matchday squad, obviously players can still travel, but I don't know if he's going to go down afterwards. Why would he go down afterwards? It just doesn't seem right that you wouldn't travel down with the Manchester United party and go separate. I mean, I don't know how the scenario works in this stage. It's awkward because you're in that tricky period between transfer window closing in a week and Premier League games actually going ahead, and you don't know whether you're coming or going. What's the right move to make? Do you travel with squad? Do you stay friendly? Do you train with the squad knowing that you're moving? It just gets a bit murky watered and nobody really knows what the right thing to do is. But he's not travelled. He has not been spotted with the Manchester United team. And of course, as we know from last week, he can be dropped out of the squad but still be there. If he's not there at Craven Cottage tomorrow, I think this is solely down to Manchester United allowing him to talk to Napoli in confidence that this deal now is moving forward. We're going to see the end of Rasmus Hojlund. He's going to go on loan. There's going to be an obligation on the end of it. And it is one man down in Manchester United's hunt to release these players in the last week of the window. Rasmus Hojlund looks like he's going to be the first. Now, who would have thought that at the start of this window? Nobody. is the answer to that question. I can tell you right now, you didn't think that Rasmus Hojlund was leaving. I said it. Where I thought that there was a chance, I just didn't see it happening. I didn't think we had enough up front. I didn't think we was going to go out and get a number one strike-off as the quality that we have got. I was hoping we could get somebody in, and Rasmus might be a number two. But it has just moved to this point now over the last week where Rasmus has been told by the club that he is surplus to requirements, go find another club. He has said his piece. He wants a permanent deal. He doesn't want to be on the next episode of Bomb Squad players like the ones we've got this season that have been completely isolated from the squad. He has made it clear he wants out and out for good, and now we're at that point where he is happy that something has been said from Napoli. Manchester United are happy with the offer from Napoli. Therefore, everyone's talking. It is very, very advanced now, and we could. Now, I'll say could because we've been here before. And every single Manchester United fan knows that no matter how far down into negotiations we are, no matter what one certain person says about it being advanced or close to being completed or terms agreed on one side, it's never done with a United exit until that player has signed on that dotted line. And I will keep on holding off for definite until I see Rasmus on a plane. And I'm not going to be convinced until he has set off for Napoli and I see him getting off that plane over in Italy and being chauffeured to the Napoli stadium like Scott McTominay was last summer. Again, it's happening in and around exactly the same time as Scott McTominay's move to Napoli did last season. It's strange how this is now coming about. Believe it or not, Scott McTominay has just scored on the opening day as well for Napoli, so he is off to a flyer again. Could we see Rasmus Hojlund rekindling his partnership with Scott McTominay, finding his form again for Napoli? It doesn't really matter now for Manchester United fans. If United do get the deal done that they want and Rasmus gets his, then effectively we don't need to worry about it anymore because he is not a Manchester United player. This is how far this now apparently has got, and it is set to be completed on Monday. That's what Italian sources are now saying, and what we're also saying is I feel that we could actually be making a little bit of money out of this, going off the numbers that I mentioned, like I said before. When we're looking at it, when you're looking into what Manchester United need to cover the debts, which is Rasmus Hojlund, and what we actually owe on the player, I think this just gets it. I think we are getting a little bit more on top of what we actually owe for Rasmus Hojlund. So somehow, out of all of this, we've managed to break even, just earn a little bit on top of this deal and walk away from what was a poor piece of recruiting and being able to invest that money back into the squad, which we spoke about this morning is going to end up being the Carlos Baleba transfer, hopefully. And I say hopefully because Manchester United need to stand up this season and be counted. And when you look at that league table right now, like I said at the top of the show, it is a bit of an up and down situation and anything is doable right now. Arsenal are heading to the top of the table as things stand at the moment because they are now 3-0 up against Leeds. Gyökeres has got his first goal of the season by the looks of it as well. Are we bothered? We're not chasing Arsenal. We're chasing Spurs. That was the worrying one earlier on. As funny as it is to see Manchester City get pummeled again at home by Spurs, I'm also looking at Spurs being a bit of a threat. I still think they will fall away. I'm not going to let myself or allow myself to get worried about them at the moment. But it just goes to show what this league is and what Manchester United have to do. And it starts tomorrow at Craven Cottage. Put your marker down. We put an alright performance against Arsenal last week. You got the fans on board. You've got to back it up, though. It is such a massive game for United and Ruben Amorim tomorrow. But like we just said there, just to clarify the top story again, Rasmus Hojlund is not travelling with the Manchester United squad down to London for the Fulham game. He is not there, and it looks like the deal is going to be concluded with Napoli as things stand, going off the reports today. This is now gone to the next stage. So, very, very important now for Manchester United to concentrate, I feel, on the next players, which are the really important ones. And one of them is JADON Sancho. I am going to come to the comment section in just a moment, everybody, as well. So bear with me on that one because I want to get through the news first of all, and then we're going to get into your comments on everything going forward. So that's Rasmus Hojlund. Jadon Sancho, the situation with him. Now, we have actually, and I've mentioned this before, the potential of another club coming in. Now, Roma are working double time, as we know, to try and come to an agreement with Manchester United, possibly on some form of severance pay to get Jadon Sancho over the line. And by that, like we explained in the other show a couple of days ago, his agent's fees are crippling Roma right now to a point where they can't afford to make this deal happen. They've agreed wages near enough and close enough to that. They've agreed with Manchester United, but the agent's fees on top are that big that they can't afford to pay them and make this transfer happen. Everybody at Roma wants Jadon Sancho through the door and in. Inter Milan. Now, this has come about because obviously Tottenham, and we explained this the other day, Tottenham have obviously missed out on Eza and are now looking at the potential signing of Savinho or of Ademola Lookman from Atalanta. Now, he is a target of Inter Milan's, and if Inter Milan don't get Lookman, they will go for Jadon Sancho. They can afford Jadon Sancho easily. Compared to what Roma are doing, obviously, Champions League run last season, back in the Champions League again this season, challenging for the Scudetto again this season coming. So Inter Milan in a much stronger financial position, and they would happily take Jadon Sancho if they couldn't get Ademola Lookman. The point we're making here is Spurs are looking to Ademola Lookman. He's the cheaper option. And if it's Daniel Levy deciding where Spurs go, it definitely is the Lookman route, because City are quoting 80 million for Savinho. And after them doing what they did today, you can't expect City to be realistically helping out one of their rivals now, because Spurs are actually ahead of them. And Spurs are going to be challenging in and about it if they keep this form up this season. So Manchester City are obviously thinking here, we cannot be selling to a rival. We can't be giving Spurs any up on us than what they've already got, as proved today. And I think they'll probably block this off, and Spurs will end up going for Lookman. That obviously is just my look on it, but that's the standing at the moment. But there is another report coming out, again, Italian and Spanish reports, saying that Inter Milan are looking to jump in ahead of Roma for Jadon Sancho. This has to be because they are not going to get Lookman. And look, Spurs all of a sudden look like an appealing proposition. Is Lookman going to be guaranteed game time at Inter Milan? We don't know. Is he going to get it at Spurs? Probably yes, with the amount of injuries that they have got right now. So it may look more appealing, believe it or not, for him to go to Spurs rather than go to bloody Inter Milan. But that's the situation that plays out for Manchester United right now. And that is that it's obviously going to open up the chance of Jadon Sancho. Luckily, again, this man falls into a barrel of crap and comes out eating a Mars bar. Honestly, he's one of the luckiest players on the planet. I just don't get how he manages to get away with it. It's like from Borussia Dortmund to Manchester United, kicks up the royal stink, still gets a loan deal to Borussia Dortmund, gets to a Champions League final, comes back, Chelsea buy him, in the middle of that gets to another European final, wins a trophy, and then gets paid the club that's loaned him get paid 5 million to send him back again. He's bleeding mental, honestly, how he actually gets away with it. But this man, honestly, I don't care what he does. It winds me up that he has gotten away with it for years. It really does. But I'm at a point now where I just want him gone. And I'm glad this situation has come about, that the saga could be over with Jadon Sancho, because we have multiple clubs coming in. I explained the Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Besiktas potential for him in the Turkish league after the window shuts. Again, the Saudi Pro League, again, is another option for him. So with Inter Milan looking at him, with Roma looking at him, we are safe in thinking that Jadon Sancho is going to leave Manchester United. Plus, on top of all of that, you've got Fabrizio Romano telling us that the relationship between Sancho and Manchester United is completely broken. He's never going to play for the club again, and there will be something that comes out of this. Like the man himself says, Nuno Espirito Santo, there's no smoke without fire. And the fire being the important word for him there, because that might be what's happening literally. But honestly, I cannot see a world in where Sancho now doesn't leave this summer. And I think Manchester United are in a comfortable position to know that Sancho is going to go on a permanent deal also. Well, let's be honest. Even if he goes on loan, it's permanent because his contract ends at the end of this season. So he's gone. Once he leaves this summer, what we're saying is Sancho is gone for good. That, no matter what it is, no matter what deal it is, he's done, he's finished, and he's out of Manchester United. That's all that matters. That's all that matters to anybody. The man walking out the door, we never have to talk about him again, is enough for me to finish this transfer window a happy man. Of course, I would like to finish this transfer window with one more player in particular, in between the sticks. And that does look like, from what we said last night and we said this morning, but Sully has also confirmed today that Senny Laman's representatives have held club to player contacts, and now club-to-club contacts have also been made. No agreement as of yet that I have seen, although it is thought that it won't be a problem and the formalities will be following, and Senny Lamans will be a Manchester United goalkeeper. The debate and the word is right now, who is going to be the goalkeeper that falls? I think we all know who's going to fall. That will be Altay Bayındır. But yes, this one is moving along. And again, once the weekends are always awkward. They're always awkward. Once the weekend's football is finished and we hit Monday, I expect to have a ton of news coming through, flooding through, in fact, into the tabloids, onto online. Like everybody's going to be reporting on the transfers. And in fact, you know what? Tomorrow in the Sunday papers, we might get a lot more news coming out. So don't forget, tomorrow morning I'll be here with the early morning show, 8 o'clock here on FUTV. And also, don't forget, we are going to be doing the paper round on Football Talks as well. So don't forget to subscribe to both of the channels. If you're not a subscriber here on FUTV, please do join in. As soon as we get to 98k, which we are less than 300 away, we are giving free shirts away, courtesy of OK Jerseys, as you can see on the screen there. Scan that QR code if you want to grab your baggings already. But they are going to be gifting out some shirts for us on every 1,000 now, up to 100,000 subscribers. So it's important that you do it, and you've got a chance of being involved in the draw, which could give you that shirt. So of your choice on the website as well. So anything you want. Okay, let's get into the comment section. Talk to me about all three of them, Rasmus, Lamans and JADON Sancho, everybody. I've seen loads of you piling in on all three subjects already in the live chat, so I'm just going to have a bit of a scroll up, just have a little bit of a mooch through and see what we've actually got. By the way, the interactive side, I keep teasing everybody about the upgrades and what we're going to be doing on the channel and what's coming up. The interactive side is going to go to a whole new level once we do these upgrades as well, and we sort of change things up here on Forever United TV and Football Talks. Both channels are having a huge upgrade, so all that will come, and I will show you exactly what I mean when it's there. I probably won't have to. You'll see it instantly anyway. It is that good. Right. Spirit of Lakota says, Rasmus, only hope is La Liga Serie A, slower pace game and not ruthless like the Prem. Same for Anthony. Good luck to both. I see how you're not wishing good luck to Garnacho and JADON Sancho, though. I'm with you on that one, mate. Although Anthony is winding me up a little bit at the moment, and his persistence to actually be a Real Betis player is starting to pee me off just a tad now. But I think that one also is coming to an end, and I explained the Anthony situation earlier on, so go watch the previous video back from this morning. That explains the Anthony situation. I want to concentrate on these three players in particular right now. More importantly, Sancho and Rasmus on this show, so get your comments in on these, but the information on Anthony is on the previous video if you want to go and watch that. We need a massive win tomorrow. We desperately need it, says Rudresh. I like all that one. Spurs will Spurs. They'll be mid-table by December, says Daniel. It's good for Man United by Carlos Baleba and Senny Lamans. It's not going to happen, I'm afraid. Manchester United are not going to go in, or anyone with hopes that Manchester United might go in with a late bid for Carlos Baleba. I just don't think it's happening. Simply because there isn't enough news, there isn't enough talk about it, and I don't think Manchester United can afford it. Now, obviously, if you sold Anthony for big money and you got that deal done, if you sold Garnacho for what you wanted and you got that done, you got Sancho out of the door and he wasn't clinging on till the last knockings of the transfer window, maybe, just maybe, United would feel confident enough to bid high enough to get that deal over the line. But at the moment, they don't. And the realism is, Brighton have already said that he is not for sale anyway. So that one, we have to just forget about him. We have to wait a year for it, which is painful, I know, but still. All good things come to those who wait, I would say. Good for Rasmus for wanting a permanent move. Agree with that completely. Arsenal haven't looked that good against Leeds. Glorified Stoke. It's 4-0 now, I think, isn't it, to Arsenal? Yep. Which is not... I said this before, though. Like, Leeds are ahead of us after one win. Like, if United win tomorrow, we can propel ourselves up that table. We'll talk about that in a moment, actually, the football side of things. Too early to call, as I think he's a good player, but wasn't allowed a proper buy greed players around him. Wasn't allowed to proper buy greed players around him. I'm not sure who you're talking about on that one there. Sorry, buddy. Let's just see what else we've got in here. Adam, I just hope with all these teams are playing European football, we might move places up the table, and fingers crossed we don't get injuries. If we stay fit, and without European football, Manchester United have got a massive advantage on all of the teams around them. Every single one of them. The teams that are going to be fighting for them places for us. Like, looking at this table right now, have City just shown us that they are nowhere near ready, and there could be one place available in the top 4. Spurs, nobody would have had in the top 4. They're now joint top of the table after 2 games. 2 clean sheets. They only had 6 clean sheets last season, and already Thomas Frank has turned them into a double clean sheet. And obviously, what they scored in there now, what's that, +5 goal difference. So 5 goals scored, none conceded. Spurs looking to spend more money yet in the window, so Spurs could be good. We're competing with them. Like, if Spurs, who are, 17th last season, and are now top of the league with 2 clean sheets and hardly anything spent compared to what Manchester United have done, if they can go to where they are now, then there's no excuse for Manchester United. I know it's using a different team to compare, and that never works, but come on. They were worse than us last season. This can be done. You can turn things around, and you can get off to a good start. A win tomorrow after our really good performance against Arsenal would give this whole fan base a massive boost of confidence going into the rest of this season, because City have slipped and City are not great. I said don't get carried away with that Wolves result. The Wolves were poor. They've lost a lot of players, and City got a good start there in terms of what the draw was. City are there for the taking. And let's not forget, Man United have got City in 3 games. Fulham, Burnley, international break, City away. It could be absolutely huge, that game for Manchester United now. And you know what? A good win tomorrow against Fulham could actually put Manchester United ahead of City in the league. And imagine, coming off international break, Manchester United going into the City game, into the derby, ahead of City in the table. When has that ever happened? When was the last time that actually happened? That's what we could be looking at going into that in September. I know it's a way off, and I know there's a lot has to happen for that to be the case, but that's in Manchester United's hands as of now. Because City have obviously been beaten. Manchester United, a good win against Fulham tomorrow, a good win against Burnley at home, and United could be going into the derby ahead of Man City. And that tells everybody straight away, we are actually in this. There is a fight, and there's a spot free. These games being played out, and every time a game gets played through this season and get one game week goes by, you'll start to look at things differently all of the time. Don't forget, tomorrow, everybody, join me here on Forever United TV for the watch along. Manchester United against Fulham. Be here for that one. We are rocking that. We've got a full day of content planned for you again from the morning leading into this game. It's going to be a mad one, but yes, please be there. Watch a long time, everybody. It's going to be entertaining. I've got a feeling it's going to be a good game tomorrow, so make sure that you're with us for that as well, everyone. Don't forget, after that game as well, obviously my reaction will be up on YouTube, but we're also going to be doing a big calling show on Big Up after the game. More on that, obviously, tomorrow, but that is an idea of what content's coming your way tomorrow, everybody. So stay tuned and make sure that you're ready for it. It's going to be a big one. Let's just put it that way. Tomorrow is huge. If we lose, it's going to be a meltdown, says Carl. Lawrence says Hackney could be the next week's surprise. It's just a shame about sales and lack of. Yeah, true. Making evening meal. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone who's just popping in. Hello to all of the mods as well and members. Let's see what else we've got in here. That's my opinion from what I have seen. You can't expect me to have the same opinion as everyone else. Oh, people having a little bit of a fallout in the chat there. I just jumped into one conversation there by the sounds of it. That's Brighton. We're interested. Unfortunately, going out tomorrow, so I won't be on the stream. Big up. Never mind, mates. We'll catch up through the week anyway. Yeah, that's on Big Up anyway, Carl. Frank has transformed Spurs in 5 minutes and United are going nowhere. We are third from bottom already. We've played one game, mate, and was unlucky not to win that game. Let's play tomorrow and then let's see what happens. If United win tomorrow, you may look like a bit of an idiot. You may be completely right, mate. But don't jump the gun yet. Let's play our games first and then we'll have a big moan. And you might be in a position to say I told you so by that time anyway. So, yeah, let us play our game first of all is what I say. Any more comments from anyone on Sancho and Rasmus Hojlund? Are you bothered? Are you bothered? Don't forget, I did just say it then, that we're having a big up call-in after the watch-along here on YouTube on Forever United TV tomorrow. So make sure, if you want to have your say on everything, that you're there tomorrow and I will get you on. You can have your say. Let's get through some more comments quickly. Yeah, so looking into the game tomorrow. Actually, yeah, we did just finish on Senny Lamins then, didn't we? I thought I'd not mentioned it then. But yeah, on the game tomorrow, when you look at it, I've just seen a post, one of them horrible ones that tells you a player looks like he's confident of starting. And that's Dalot again. Ugh. Not that I don't like the guy, but I've just seen his Instagram post, which is usually a case that player is playing, and that means no Ahmad. Again, like, honestly, I can understand people's argument to start Dalot over Ahmad for defensive reasons, but I'm expecting Manchester United to try and take the game to Fulham, and therefore we're going to be wasting our time putting Dalot in the side. I can easily see myself tomorrow shouting out, what is the point in playing Dalot when he defends like that, when we could have had Ahmad in there doing just as good a job defending and then giving us more of an option going forward. We have to start committing to this system. And the love affair with Dalot, I think, needs to end. It does. Like, Dalot should be on the bench. You've been playing and testing around with Ahmad for ages now. Ahmad does not deserve to be on the bench. He doesn't. And what's he going to do? Is he going to now play Cunha up front and put Ahmad into the front three? And not start Benjamin Sesko? I don't know. Honestly, looking at it, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys actually take them social media posts seriously? Do you look at it like me? Like, why would a player be posting out that if he's not going to be playing? That's what I look at. I think they do. I actually do think they do. Question just asked by Kaz there. Do you think the squad players actually know who is going to be starting? Who's going to be starting the game? Do you think? I think Amram tells the team before. I think Amram tells the team the night before. Do squad players already know who the 11 is? I think Ruben. Do you reckon Ruben is that type of manager? Does he let the squad know the night before? Like, everyone who's travelling down, do they know who's playing? That's the question. Yes or no? What do you reckon, everybody? Get into the chat and tell me. I think they do, personally. I think they do. Why would you have a whole social media post made up for you with all of the background of Fulham, Craven Cottage, the game, the kickoff time, post that on social media and you're not playing? By the way, Dalot's picture is all over it as well. I do. Graham, I'm not stressing about it at all, mate. I'm talking complete and utter sense. I know you're backing that because you've probably said that'll happen yourself anyway, but it's not right and it doesn't make it right, Graham. Ahmad should be starting all day, every day ahead of Dalot because I just don't think Dalot is a good defender. I think he's an average defender and I think he's okay going forward. I'd say play to your advantages. And I don't think that Ahmad should be starting behind Dalot on that right-hand side. I don't. I really don't. I fully believe in that. So, I mean, Kaz has just made a good point there. Casemiro posts like that every single week. And he didn't always start. So maybe I could be wrong. But I actually think Dalot will start tomorrow because that worked for Ruben Amorim early doors. It didn't work with Dalot. The squad and the team worked, but Dalot didn't work for me in that game. That's the point I'm trying to make. We could have been a lot more effective if we had Ahmad on the pitch for a lot longer, is how I see it. And I will wait to see more signs and everything coming out. But Sesko, does Sesko start tomorrow? I can say yes and I can say no. I honestly feel like Ruben won't have a problem. I've seen Ruben's quotes on Benjamin Sesko, actually, and now he has to look after him because he's so tuned in and he is so keen that he has to try and nurse that, he said, and has to sort of look after him, engage him. He likes to know his players a little bit more before he trusts in playing them. Like, you've just spent a fortune on him. You'd have thought that you'd have known what you was buying, and it was specifically for this system. So, okay, I can still, because it's still early days, and he doesn't know him as well as the other players, see Sesko starting on the bench tomorrow. I can see that. I just feel now Manchester United really need to start building this rapport. Like, games, you could say we've got a lot of games to go, and it's a long way to go this season, but I don't see why you shouldn't be starting Benjamin Sesko at all right now. This is the way you're going to move forward. He's there, he's fit, he's ready to go, and I just think that you're going to have to bring him in at some point. So what are you going to do? Wait for it not to happen and us not score a goal before you start starting him in games? Because there, and that point, and like someone's just said it there, look what Thomas Frank's done with Spurs. If we don't win tomorrow, we're already going to be 5 or 6 points behind Spurs after 2 games. And so I would always say, like, play your strongest team at this part of the season anyway. I know you've got to ease players in, I get it, but I think Sesko needs to be playing in this sort of game for Manchester United. But then again, I know Ruben. I know what he's like, and there's a part of me saying yes, and then there's a part of me saying no. I wouldn't be surprised by either tomorrow, is all I'm saying. To be honest, I would not be surprised if he starts the same 11. I don't think it will be, because I think he's going to put Andre Onana in goal, and that's the other story coming out as well. Lots of journalists saying that Andre Onana is going to start the game for Manchester United tomorrow against Fulham. And, yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it, to be honest? At this point, look, Sonny Lamans hasn't signed. He's not going to start straight away anyway, even if he signed today. And what's the lesser of the two evils? Altay Bayndé or Andre Onana? They both look as shaky as each other at the moment. So I suppose it doesn't really matter who's in goal for Manchester United tomorrow. The only significant change in goal would be someone like Tom Heaton coming in. But between the other two, it's a flip of a coin, really, isn't it? In terms of what's your strongest starting goalkeeper? I don't think either. And yeah, just being honest about that, I just don't think either of them are good enough for Manchester United. And we all know this is why we're going to buy another goalkeeper. So start either of them. It doesn't matter to me. They both proved to me now that they are not capable of being consistent in between the sticks. I'm just hoping that it doesn't take long for someone like Sonny Lamans to be integrated into Manchester United's starting 11 and we can get him playing majority of the games. Anybody who thinks that Andre Onana is good enough really needs to be asked about their job and their role at the football club. I fully believe that. There cannot be a coach out there that thinks that Andre Onana is the answer. Saidabi, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for that. Rawls with a super chat. Ahmad over Dalot is a no-brainer. It's going to be interesting how he keeps the squad fresh and rotated now that United are only playing once a week. It is. It's going to be intriguing as well to see how he works it. Look, I'm not saying Dalot isn't going to play games this season. Of course he's going to play games. I actually don't mind Dalot. I just don't think he's got any better. I'd expect him to have got a lot better. And he's not, and his end product is shocking. It is too inconsistent. And Ahmad visibly changed the game. Defend from the front. Don't go in with a defensive mentality is what I say. And if you put Ahmad in there, that that fullback on the opposite side for Fulham is always going to be thinking about what's going to happen if he makes a mistake, and eventually Ahmad will push him back. I think this is what we need to do now. We need to play to our strengths. And unfortunately for me, Dalot against Fulham, you're thinking too much into it. You should be going, I feel, with your strongest 11, and that is Ahmad being in there. I do believe that. I'm not saying that I'm right and Ruben's wrong here. I'm just saying I feel like against Fulham, it's the chance and an opportunity to really take the game away from them early doors. And I think Ahmad can do that. I don't think Dalot can. Funny enough, the social media posts have been more on an indication that the player is not starting lately. Has happened a few times. That's good, Glenn. I like that. Cheers for that, mate. I've not looked too much into it. I've just seen Dalot's post by chance, and I'm thinking, why would he do that? But obviously, people know a little bit more than me on that one. So, Glenn, you've cheered me up a little bit there that isn't the case. And players actually just do this anyway. Having said we get a JADON Sancho one of them coming up, hey? Has anyone seen that video of all of the players saying their names? So it's like a green screen behind them, and they all come up and they say their names really slow and direct to the camera. JADON Sancho was on that. He actually did that for Manchester United, and so too did Garnacho. They've cut them both out of the reel now. So it's every squad member walking up to a camera, like where I am now from this distance, saying his name in full. And they've taken out Garnacho and JADON Sancho. I've seen the original one, and they were on it. I'm nearly sick, to be honest, when I heard it. But I think looking at it now, when you round everything up on where this week is heading for Manchester United, summarising this transfer window, I think we can all look at it and say that it has been progressive. I think we can all say that it's been probably one of the best windows we've had in a long time for Manchester United. And I think confidence in the team and the way we play will come with no off-field drama and no circus behind the scenes, fully concentrating on football. And this is the environment that Ruben's tried to build. And that's why I do feel a little bit more confident going into these games. That for me, I think, is realistically the way that I'm going to come out of this transfer window. I'm just going to be real about it and say I think overall Manchester United have done the majority of the work that they needed to do, and that is obviously if we get rid of these players and everybody's out of the squad, we can go forward into this season with I feel a confident frame of mind that we have got the right players, like Ruben said. And at this point now, I actually feel like it's all going to come down on Ruben. I actually look at this and say Ruben now can be properly judged. I mean, are we in that boat, everybody? Can we now start looking at Ruben Amorim with what we've done in this transfer window and say, right, you've got enough? Is there any more excuses? If we get the goalkeeper in, we've got the strike force in. Yes, the midfield is a bit haphazard and not quite there, but have we got enough in your eyes? I mean, talk to me in the live chat, please, everybody. Let me know. Goalkeeper comes in, the bomb squad are gone, and Ruben has got this squad to deal with no Champions League football and no issue of injuries and rotation, just him picking and hand-picking which players he wants. Is there any excuse for Ruben not to finish 5th in the league table, 5th or 6th? Let's just be fair. If he doesn't finish in them positions, what are you saying? Is that enough? Get into the comment section on that, please, everybody. Midfield's a big problem. No midfield is terrible. It sounds like the excuses are coming out already just in the first 2 comments there. He either gets us into 6th by Christmas or Amorim should be gone, says Moses. He got his chances and didn't take them, says GK. We can look at him, but team still needs to gel and no mid is a problem. Yeah, but it's up to him for the team to gel now. He's been here long enough for his system to actually be implemented. If players don't get it in that system, then you can actually look at that individual player or an individual error that's cost us. Like Arsenal, system there, proof that Ruben's working. Individual error cost us the game. That's how I looked at that game. I had no issue at all with it, at all. Apart from one individual error, Manchester United come away from that game with at least a point. And that's how I judged it. And I will say that is progression for Manchester United in that game. But if we go back to anything like we was, where we started bottling it, when our arses started falling out in games consistently, like they did last season, and that happens again now, then I feel then that's down on Ruben Amorim. That's when I will start to look at it a bit more, I feel, and start to judge him. I think properly now. I think we can start judging him properly. He has to get this system across. And I'm happy so far. I've seen what I've seen in the summer. I've seen bits of progress, and then I've seen us against Arsenal. A lot of progress, and I'm really happy. I do believe that Ruben Amorim will get it right. I do have full faith in him, and I cannot wait to start judging Manchester United properly again. It's going to be a really, really interesting season for United from this point now. It's in. And once these transfers are done, once we actually settle in, we come back from international break, and all we've got to talk about is football, I'll feel a lot more comfortable in judging what's actually happening, because I think it's been a very good window. I do. I cannot wait to put the question into the live chat. Once the transfer window shuts, when everything is done, cannot wait to ask that question to the chat. What we're actually rating this window as, and see what the scores out of 10 are then. Because I actually think there will be a lot of 7+, 8s out of 10s for this transfer window. Cue the people that just want to automatically disagree and put 4s and 5s in the live chats. But hey, look, I think it's been a good one. And what I've gauged from it is a lot. In that everybody has been quietly impressed with Manchester United's business and how we've gone about it. We made good transfers with the front three and a new goalkeeper, but I'm worried about the midfield. Tottenham played a different system again against PSG to how they play today. A good coach adapts. There are lots of competitions for top 8. Competition for top 8. Not expect Europa. Everyone all of a sudden after watching everyone else play has lost a little bit of confidence. I'm just seeing it now. Like everyone's like a little bit more cautious now. He has a 33% win rate. Spent 200 million. He has to get results now. Carl's there is giving him no room at all. I'm going 6 to 7 already, Adam, says Matthew. Yeah, but you might go to 7 or 8 if we sell all these players and bring in the goalkeeper. I think so. Real says, Adam, as long as there is improvement and clear style, then it doesn't matter what position we end up. Well, it might matter for Ruben, though. That's the thing. We can have all of that progress, and Ineos might not like the league position, and then sack him, and then all of that progress that we've made under Ruben Amorim goes out the window, mate. So I get what you're saying, and in our eyes that might be all right, but it might be worth absolutely nothing to Ineos, and we could be looking at Ruben Amorim being sacked, and we're back to square one again. We shall see. I will be back at 8 o'clock tomorrow, everybody. That wraps up our Saturday evening show. Go and enjoy yourselves wherever you're up to. I will see you all in the morning. Thank you for all the super chats, new members, new subscribers. Hello, welcome to you. If you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you, everyone. Pop a like on the video as well on your way out. We have passed over 500 likes. Thank you very much, mods. Great job in the chats again. Don't forget, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Busy day starts at 8 o'clock. We have got jam-packed content throughout the day. More on all of that.